The John Ford Podcast.
Trust but verify. JohnFord.radio.
And welcome to the John Ford Podcast. This would be number 12, I do believe, the evening Rancor. So glad you could join us today for this program. You know, I sort of had a revelation yesterday. I mean, I wouldn't call it like the heavens opening and the beam of light coming down from the sky or even anything close to a religious experience. No, it was a revelation that there is actually something I like about Donald Trump.
Trump is Ebola and the KKK combined.
Are you ready for this? No, it's not his skills as a great deal maker, allegedly. Who knows? As far as his deal making is concerned, I always kind of looked at him like Howard Hughes. Howard Hughes was a marvelous failure in a lot of ways. A lot of the things he took on just didn't really take off, but he was able to make money nonetheless. I kind of look at Trump that way too. When his real estate empire started to lose money, for lack of a better term, he turned his business into marketing his name so that people could buy his name to put on their hotels, casinos, what have you. But I came to this revelation yesterday that there's actually something I really like about Trump. And you know what it is?
No, thank you.
He's the great disruptor. He can make people just absolutely foam at the mouth like a rabid dog.
Foam at the mouth and blood drip from their fangs.
And anybody that can get under somebody's skin like that, man, that's not easily accomplished. If you have any liberal friends that are on your Twitter feed or, even independent friends, as I do, I mean, you've been watching over the last few days the foaming, the weeping, the wailing, the gnashing of teeth over this whole Kavanaugh thing.
This toxic culture, this pernicious patriarchy in this country has to stop.
And it's just like the latest Trump eruption. He has the ability to just make these people go absolutely nuts, and they can't for the lives of themselves, especially the New York and Hollywood liberal types, understand how anybody could have ever voted for this man.
No.
I didn't vote for him. I didn't vote for Hillary either. I voted for somebody else. So I'm not responsible for either of them. For a lot of the New York and LA liberal types, the only time they've ever been anywhere outside of New York is when they're flying over going to LA. Or maybe if they're doing a book tour or something. And then they're going to go to, they're going to come here, Austin, right? Yeah, it's part of evil Texas, but it's kind of like this weirdo liberal enclave. It's mostly harmless. Never are they going to go to Somerset, Kentucky, or something like that, where people did vote for Trump. And they can't imagine how anybody so stupid could have ever voted for him. And just that he has the ability to just make them absolutely nuts, I find glee with no end. It would be just as great if it was, somebody else, if it was some crazy liberal that was making the conservatives just go nuts like this. And you can see from the tweet storm and the posts that come across, and anybody that can make somebody hate them that much is kind of okay in my book. And I was thinking about it in this way. We had Ronald Reagan, who was known as the great communicator. The great emancipator would have been Abraham Lincoln. And some might even say that, the great fornicators would be JFK and Bill Clinton. Some might make that argument. I see Trump as the great disruptor. And it really fits with where we are in society. Think about how the business world works today. Everything is about disruption. Uber disrupts the taxi cab industry. I do voiceovers for a living. There's these pay-to-play sites that disrupt the voiceover industry. Every industry has a disruptor, and they've become kind of almost the bane and the saviors of an industry. Some would call them saviors because they open it up for everybody to get involved in it. And others would say it's the bane because people can no longer make a decent living. And they're both right. But Trump is kind of like, he's just like that. He's like Amazon. Donald Trump is like Amazon. He's the great disruptor. Whereas Amazon disrupts mom and pop businesses and brick and mortars, Trump comes in. And this is one of the great things about him, even though I'm not a fan of Donald Trump's, is that he came in and just blew the entire political landscape apart. He disrupted everything. And there's something about that is kind of okay, because we needed some disruption. Unfortunately, it's just got everybody hating each other and weeping and wailing and gnashing of teeth and, just ready to go for each other's throats.
The sexist, egotistical, lying, hypocritical bigot.
And the liberals won't listen to the conservatives, and the conservatives won't listen to the liberals, and everybody just hates everybody else, and the whole thing is just disrupted and blown up. That was the great revelation I came to yesterday as I had this accident, because I keep the news on the TV during the day. It streams. Usually I stream France 24. I kind of like their news, but I had the CBS streaming news on because I'm one of those cord cutters. I don't pay for cable TV, so I don't have CNN. I don't have Fox. I have to watch France 24 or Al Jazeera or CBS, as they have a streaming news service. But they showed Trump at some rally. I'm just watching these people that love him. Oh, God, they love him so much. He's our savior. He's our hero. And he's just blown everything up. The great disruptor has arrived. And it fits with where we are in the world today. Let's look at some other news.
N-E-W-S.
The answer to all of the issues that are facing modern women today and the feminists of the world comes today from the Times of Israel. That link available on the johnford.radio website. Click on podcasts, look for today's podcast, and that link will be there. Anyways, from the Times of Israel, Iran's supreme leader is using Ali Reisman. Now, she's the Jewish Olympic gymnastics champion. The Ayatollah has all the answers for the women that are complaining, Me Too, and you gotta believe her, and intersectionalists, and, the social justice warriors, and social politics, which is so rampant in the far left today. Iran's supreme leader says he has the answer for women who are complaining about the evil white men, especially the evil American white men, that the answer to women being assaulted, according to the supreme leader of Iran, is for the Me Too generation to adopt the hijab.
I must now kill you.
In a video tweeted Wednesday that ran through a number of prominent American women describing their experiences of assault, the Ayatollah said, according to him and the doctrine of Islam, that wearing a hijab can protect women from deviation. According to the Times of Israel, that translates roughly to being assaulted, because Islam does not allow sexual abuse or violence against women.
What the hell?
You've come a long way, baby. Mini skirts, sexual revolution. Hey, no, forget about it, man. Forget about it, woman. The answer is wear the hijab.
If they had any sense, you think they'd act like that, dress like that, live like that, wear their hair like that?
If you wear the hijab, nobody's gonna bother you. There'll be nothing going on. Literally.
It's time to say so long. Sorry to say that it's time to go. Remember this spot on your radio. There'll be more entertainment for you that you'll find so enjoyable too. So tune in on Monday, because that is when that man
I really wish I could get mad at you for it.
will